So my business, the Alcohol Mindset Coach. So what problem did I actually initially see? And I guess I was looking at my own experience and I thought, there's a gap in the market here. There really, really is, because I couldn't find the support that I needed. And the more I spoke to people, the more I realized there are a lot of people out there looking for this type of support. So the problem that I identified was, people appearing, very high functioning. So working in, professional jobs, doing really well in their careers. Professional men and women, 30 plus, desperate for support for their decades-long drinking issue, and they don't resonate with traditional forms of support or know where to turn to. And the solution that came to me was that I could create tailored one-on-one alcohol and binge drinking programs facilitated by me, a trained and specialist binge drinking and alcohol coach who understands my clients' psychology and pain points. And this is a really important part of the process. So all the men and women that I work with, often when I ask them what the most important or the part of the process that they have absolutely loved the most has been that they have been able to have a coach who actually has worked through their own drinking problem and understands and is not judgmental. Because a lot of my clients have been to psychologists, drug and alcohol counsellors, and have completely got stuck because they've felt judged, or they haven't felt that people really understand their psychology and where they're at. Does anyone have any questions at this point in time?
Oh, but it's fabulous. I think it's just such an important initiative, and yeah, I just love that you've jumped into it, and coming from experience too, because it is, it's easy to be trained in something, but unless you've experienced it, it's hard to really understand that mindset. And I just even love the name, the alcohol mindset. I think, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Nikki. Thanks a lot. Okay, so the business overview. I guess my vision is to create an international wellness brand and business that supports professional women and men to improve and transform their lives by changing their relationship with alcohol. And what I see all the time through my clients changing their relationship with alcohol is the ripple effect that it has on every other aspect of their life. In particular, their professional lives. They don't realize how much it's holding them back in their professional lives, and they start to dream bigger. They start to have more time in their day. They start to have more clarity and creativity. It's just incredible, the ripple effect, obviously on their personal lives as well. But again, it's this, I feel like there's a missing piece in this puzzle. Even in big corporate, there's a lot of focus on mental health and well-being, on having meditation programs, on having, yoga, on having the masseuse come into work. But we're not really having this conversation necessarily about alcohol and maybe the impact it's having on the productivity of our employees, and whether or not we can assist employees to learn a bit more about alcohol and how changes in their drinking habits could actually really improve their overall mental health and well-being. So the mission, I provide specialised one-on-one coaching programs to support professional women and men address and change their problematic relationship with alcohol. And my purpose is to improve and transform people's lives by supporting and educating them to change their relationship with alcohol.
To jump in, no, it all sounds fabulous to me.
Okay, great. My business overview. So my why. My business exists to provide support to professional men and women who want to change their relationship with alcohol and ultimately improve the quality of their lives. How? My specialised programs are delivered via Zoom to clients all over the world, including Australia, New Zealand, Japan, UK, and USA. So I have clients all over the world at the moment, which is obviously the advantage of online and doing everything through Zoom. I don't have modules that clients follow. I basically at the moment prescribe reading, resources, podcasts. I tailor all my programs to my clients and their interests and needs. And then the coaching is very much talk therapy during, pretty much each week. My three, I guess, my business currently delivers 3 signature one-on-one programs at the moment. There's a binge drinking breakthrough program, the daily drinking freedom program, which is more for habitual drinkers. And then there's my alcohol reset program, which was really a 5-week alcohol reset program, which is really just to help people get some education and awareness around drinking and to create some new habits. So those are basically the 3 main programs that I offer at the moment. My most popular programs are number 1 and number 2, the binge drinking and the daily drinking. And the majority of my professional men and women clients are in a binge drinking sort of breakthrough type program. Okay, so now we're coming to the SWOT analysis. So the strengths. So I guess the strengths that I've identified are my lived experience and working through an issue with alcohol, my specialist alcohol coach training, and my media and speaking profile, and I guess my PR and comms background. I've done a lot of podcast interviews, and also I've done an interview on Channel 10, and I do, quite a bit of work in that area. And that's really how I get the majority of my clients. I haven't done the traditional coach thing. I don't have a weekly newsletter. I haven't built an email list. I've done it all intuitively from the things that I enjoy doing. So I realized that I could probably be doing things differently, but this has worked for me so far. In terms of the weaknesses, I guess I see that is probably one of my weaknesses, that I'm not doing the newsletter, the email marketing, all those sorts of things. I'm not building a list. And so this is really kind of, I guess, my lack of technology expertise to develop and market online courses, because I think there's only one of me. I'm pretty busy in terms of the number of clients that I see every week. I mean, at the moment, I probably have 10 to 15 hours of clients that I see each week, 15 hours, so 15 clients, which is a lot for a coach. Towards the end of last year, it was up at around 20 to 25, but I had to cut back because I was feeling a little bit burnt out by it, I guess. So I guess the weakness here for me is doing too much one-on-one and not getting out to as many people as I would like to, and that I really do see that there is an opportunity for me to develop some standalone online awareness, alcohol awareness and education courses that could be sold to corporates to use as part of their, employee assistance programs. And that obviously there'd still be an opportunity for me to do some coaching, but that I can then make that more, even potentially more of a premium offering. So this is obviously really, a good opportunity to move into opportunities. I mean, I say there is a huge opportunity to move into corporates with this work. I've really only just touched the tip of the iceberg, I guess. And even for me to bring other, coaches into my business as well, and to help train them and spread the word, because I actually think that we're also at a point in time where there is this huge new sober curious wave. People are starting to look at and change their drinking habits, and alcohol coaching, although it's very much at its beginning in Australia. It's hugely taken off in America and the UK, and it's starting to gain traction here. So, I'd love to attract more one-on-one clients that fit into my niche, and I'd like to be able to charge more for my one-on-one programs. That's something that I have actually increased my program fees in the last 6 months and haven't really had any problems with selling them at all. Yes. So, and then look, I think the threats, and look, I'm always a real glass half full person. I don't see a huge threats to this business model of mine, because I feel like I've got a really unique set of experience here. I've started targeting this market before anyone else really has. I always get incredible feedback from my clients. I am really good at communicating with both men and women. A lot of female alcohol coaches only do women, but I do both. And that has been, I guess a really positive aspect to my business. Initially, I thought I would probably only coach women, but I have had, lots of males come in and lots of male referrals. Again, I guess the threats though to my business are probably on price point as well. Someone else coming in and being able to do things cheaper. And I guess there are a lot of online sober type courses that are much cheaper than the offerings that I provide through one-on-one coaching. There's the Hello Sunday Mornings as well. I'm actually on the consumer advisory board for Hello Sunday Morning now, so I do quite a lot of work with them. But yeah, I guess threats rise. I didn't really feel like there are too many around at the moment, because I feel like this is a really growing category and that there's a real opportunity for me to take it now. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers my SWOT analysis. Did anyone have anything that they could see or offer to me in any of those areas?
I think for me, it was when you were talking about the threat and other competitors coming in at potentially a cheaper price. I think that's also an opportunity, because, once you have, or you could potentially develop modules, that's something that you can offer at a lower cost and you have a tiered approach. So I think there's lots to be done here, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That's very true. I think having the online offering gives people, and it's actually coming in at a completely different level as well. I see the online course really being, I'm wanting it initially, some of the courses just to be very accessible to anyone who wants to learn more. It's not like quit drinking. It's more about learning more about alcohol and its impact on your mental health and your body and your brain, and how, there are techniques that you might be able to bring into your week, even into your working week where you're drinking less, that will actually start to improve your quality of sleep, and, you'll be able to get up and do your exercise more, lots of little things that could help people make small changes. Great, thank you for that. So I think I've made it pretty clear who my target market is: professional women and men 30 to 60 years, working in corporate leadership roles, or they're self-employed or entrepreneurs. They buy my services and programs because they're desperate for change after worrying constantly about their drinking for many years and haven't known where to go to for support. I have the two key ingredients that make them feel at ease and confident that I can support them. One, my own lived experience of an alcohol issue and working through it, and specialist alcohol coach training, and obviously programs that are specifically targeted at their their drinking issue as well. Okay, my competitors, and so I think I've already just sort of touched on this a little bit, but my key competitors are obviously all other alcohol coaches, not only in Australia, but all over the world. Hello Sunday Morning, Smart Recovery, online recovery and sober programs such as This Naked Mind and Alcohol-Free Lifestyle, drug and alcohol counsellors and psychologists and therapists. My competitive advantage is definitely the niche that I've carved out as a specialist binge drinking coach for professional men and women. And it's why my business is growing. It's why I've been able to attract in clients without actually doing a whole lot of email marketing, and why I guess even in my cohort of Australian coaches who went through the course, I have, become the most successful of the coaches. There aren't any other coaches in Australia who really are promoting themselves in this way. And even this concept of a specialist binge drinking coach, no one else is promoting themselves in that way as well. And so again, that's really attracted in my niche. Okay, so support required. So my business is obviously, it's only been in operation for the last 18 months. This financial year, so coming up to June 2023, my business will turn over around 100 to and it might be a bit more than that, not entirely sure, but I guess in my first 12 months, it was probably around half that. So it's grown, it has grown significantly in the past 12 months. And then the skills required, I've popped down there that, and look, I guess these are just my ideas, but I'm sure you will have other ideas. But, I'd obviously love any help or connections with other corporates or professionals in charges of employee assistance and wellness programs to promote my services as an alcohol coach, because I'm sure there are many people in human resources in many organisations who are aware of employees that may have alcohol problems and really don't know what to do. And they may refer them to psychologists, or they may not do anything. But even to know that there are people like me who exist and can help and help professionals. And I guess also to seek some mentorship to help scale my business so that I can invest and develop some standalone online programs, and kind of how to do that and what technology I need and how best to do that. And, even the email and online marketing would be really useful as well. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much me. I guess, yeah, we'll just finish off. And I think this really does encapsulate where I see the alcohol mindset coach. I do see it as a wellness brand and a business, an international brand and business that, supports professional women and men to improve and transform their lives by changing their relationship with alcohol. And I think it's a business that I am already an international business. I have clients all over the world, even though I'm, still small. So I absolutely really appreciate your time in hearing about my business. I just want to finish by saying I love what I do. Like, I absolutely really, I feel like I've found my career purpose. I also do, quite a lot of work, volunteer work in the breast cancer space as well, which is another area of a real passion of mine. I've just found out this week that I have been accepted. It's a volunteer role with the BCNA, but on their consumer representative sort of network. So I get to have an impact on, the way breast cancer policy and all sorts of other things starts to happen. So that's another area that I love working in as well. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kathryn. Brilliant presentation. And it's just so lovely to hear your passion. And I think, you know, one of the key bits of feedback for me is your superpower is your communication and your empathy. So I think when you think about scaling, because there's only so much you can do and you're totally capped if it's one-on-one, but I think you've got a couple of options. You've got you've got the modularized online or app-based programs, which are two areas that you could look at. But actually, if we look at, you know, what we're trying to do with Chief MetaChicks is allow people to understand the application of their business, both in the real world and in the metaverse. And if you look at the category that you're operating in, one of the things that stood out for me when we first connected was you said to me, not a lot of people want to talk about this. And that the way that you are so open about talking about this and about your lived experience is what makes you so not scary to work with. And so, but if you think about your consumers, if you're wanting to go en masse, and the reason why people might not want to go to an AA, for example, is because they want to remain autonomous. Now, if you think about the metaverse, we operate in the metaverse as an avatar. So you could actually deliver your programs with that same level of connection and empathy where you're delivering a program, but where people can essentially be anonymous or their own virtual self and keep their identity kind of private, but still be able to interact and engage with you and experience you, where you can deliver, instead of one-to-one, you can still deliver a personalized experience, but en masse. So I think that's an area for you to think about. I think the other things that you've identified are bang on, and you should absolutely look at modularizing an online delivery. But I think there really truly is application for you in a Web3 environment down the track as well. And I'd love to support you to deliver to that.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Fantastic.
Cool. Anyone else? Lizzie, you had a few ideas. Do you want to jump in?
I was wondering, have you ever thought about doing your own podcast? Because I just think that personally, I would love to listen to, I mean, your as Nikki said, your communication is kind of your special sauce. And I think for me, if I'm sort of teetering on that edge of, oh, maybe I do want to do a program or sign up, I'd just love to hear other people's stories. And yeah, I think in a podcast application where you're sort of hosting the podcast, I think that would be really, really powerful. And also not only just a marketing tool, but it could be, you know, a form of coaching in itself, where you sort of chatting through tactics and people really, you know, could really relate to whoever's being interviewed. And yeah, I don't know if you've ever thought of that before.
Yeah, there's the podcast, you know, the podcasts in the alcohol/sober space is huge. There are a lot of them. And so I have been interviewed on a lot of them. I have thought definitely about doing my own podcast, but I want to make it a bit different to all the ones that are currently there. At the moment, there is a lot of, you hear people's stories, Q&As, those sorts of things. And I guess I guess you're the unique person who comes to the podcast if you're hosting it. But, you know, another an idea that I've had for my podcast again is actually really focusing it and specializing in my, you know, in my niche, binge drinking, really focusing around there. So you attract people in there, because a lot of the others very much focus on that, you know, that daily drinker or that rock bottom drinker who's had the, you know, the drink driving accident or done something really terrible, rather than, you know, the thing that I find is a lot of my clients don't want to come out and really talk about their drinking, though. They want to deal with it in the privacy of, you know, the coaching arrangement, and then move on to their own, you know, back to their lives, and don't necessarily want to talk about it on a podcast. But I do have some who definitely would as well.
With that sort of, I guess, one-on-one environment that you're mentioning that your clients prefer, so how would that work in a corporate setting if you're working with organizations? Would that be, I guess, offering it as part of their, you know, ERP program, and then that would be delivered one-on-one, or are you sort of picturing it happening in more of a group setting situation?
So I think I'm picturing it more that the online program would be something that is standalone, that they could work through themselves, in terms of there'd be video modules, think exercises, things that they could do. So more of an education and awareness program. And that if they wanted one-on-one coaching, that could be an alternative to them. And that I may deliver, some Q&As for the group or something. It could be something that could support a Feb Fast or a Dry July in corporates, where there might be one or two times a week where I get on and answer the most frequently asked questions of alcohol coaches. But that you can sit there and watch it, but you're not there. You don't see that the person next to you at work's also online or anything like that. So still keeping it, I guess, fairly private, because I think a lot of people in their workplace don't want other people knowing that potentially they're there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking there's so many, I guess, ideas. And as you mentioned, that whole, there really is such a movement now of moving away from alcohol. And this brand springs to mind called Non. They do non-alcoholic wines, and how they've designed their product is to pair it with, it's meant to be like a replica of wine, in terms of it's not meant to copy a Pinot or another type of specific wine, but they formulate their products to actually match the meal that you're eating, and kind of do it in that respect. And they're doing really well. And I'm just thinking, the alignment there is amazing. You could partner with brands like that to help spread awareness about your coaching. And I think there's lots to be done there, especially, every day there's more brands dropping into Coles and Woolworths about non-alcoholic brands. So there's so much that can be done there to help, I guess, drive the awareness piece of your company.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the category is growing so quickly all the time. I'm actually going to an event tonight. There's a pub in Footscray that's having, as part of the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival, it's a completely non-alcoholic, event. There's a DJ, there's beautiful food, and then there's all the different non-alcoholic drinks, and they've sold out. So it'll be really interesting to see the types of people that are there. And the publican himself he used to have an alcohol issue. He very openly talks about it now, and now he's got the biggest non-alcoholic list in Australia at his pub.
I even think Dan Murphy's also have a running campaign where they promote non-alcoholic drinks and have cocktail classes, mocktail classes, if you want, how to recreate your favorite cocktails and alcohol-free versions. So I think it's definitely the perfect time to be really driving and trying to scale your business. It's very exciting.
It's also a bit of a government link, TAC, you think of all the campaigns and the scare tactics around campaigns that are no longer resonating. This could be, an opportunity to link you into government and into TAC to create a campaign that's a little bit different, that is about, they're supposed to all be about behaviour change, and we know that some of the scare tactics aren't working anymore. So maybe a different form of collaboration could be another opportunity. So yeah, there's definitely some people we can connect you with.
I was just going to say, even obviously we're sort of talking about scaling from an online perspective and creating some modules there. And I think even for the premium offering of having that one-on-one coaching with you, there's huge opportunity to create, I guess, follow-up online modules, so that after they've completed coaching with you, they've still got that sort of support online in the way of, online modules to sort of keep it going. Do you offer sort of a follow-up?
I do, but it's in sessions with me. So clients will finish their initial 12 or 16 session program, but then they still want to see me. So I then have, I guess, what I call bundled sessions that I then sell to them. in sort of sets of 4, 6, and 8, and they pre-purchase those, and then they can use them when they want to.
Think about, what are the follow-ups, what are the common themes, and if you can create a video series or something like that you can then give them access to, and you could scale that. I think there's so much opportunity here.
Yes, definitely, because that's true, because often there are common themes, of what happens initially as well, depending on the type of drinker you are, or whether you've decided to stop drinking or go back to moderating. And if you have a bit of I don't like to call it a relapse, but if you start to find yourself getting back into old patterns, even having videos about some reminders and some things to go back, tools and techniques and those sorts of things. So you could have some videos on these topics that you could purchase if you wanted to, rather than coming to see me. You go, okay, well, I'll have a look at those videos. That you get unstuck.
And that's something you can sell on your web. You create that and you just make that an e-commerce scenario on your website, or again, app-based. But we can certainly help you there. I'm conscious that Carolyn and Holly haven't asked you questions yet. Do you guys have any questions or comments?
I do, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say I'll go after you. I do.
All right, no worries. Awesome presentation. Thank you. I thought from the start your mission, vision, purpose was so crystal clear. I was like, cool, I know exactly what you're here to do and what you set out to do. And with your experience, it's clear that you're the right person to be out there doing that, helping people. So I really loved the presentation and the way in which you're running your business and what it means to you. I've got some questions around how you want to run it moving forward. Do you imagine yourself as the sole operator in your business?
That's a really good question. Not necessarily. I feel like potentially I would like a partner or someone who is really good at the tech side of stuff. Yeah, wants to do that, because I'm not interested in that area. It's not where I feel like, that's not my sweet spot, but I feel like I need almost a partner who that is their sweet spot. But I'm obviously also open to learning as well. But I'm also, I guess, a big believer in you put energy into where your gifts are, and leave others to do, to be the expert in their area. So not necessarily.
I think Nikki kind of already provided a solution to one of the things that I was going to suggest, but one of the threats that I saw that is, if you do continue to get so busy and we don't have a solution to help you scale, the threat is that you're going, if there's burnout, or that if you're taken out for any reason, the business can't go on. And I think Nikki's suggestion around you operating in Web3 or in the metaverse and delivering to many would be a really good solution to that. But I saw that as something to be mindful of, I guess. And then from the tech perspective, while you just touched on that, I'd thought of, when you say tech, do you mean that the weakness in the tech side is from a marketing perspective or from a product development perspective? Probably
from the product development perspective, and probably the whole thing, really, to be honest. I do well at the, I have no problem picking up the phone and talking to, anyone about interviewing me or talking to me or anything like that, or asking for what I need. But when it comes to, I guess, having to get on the back end of I've just moved my website onto a platform called Kajabi. I haven't done it, someone else has done it, but there's a whole lot of stuff on the back end. You can get all these email marketing and all this sort of stuff. You can build online courses there. That to me just is like, I don't know how to do it. How am I going to have the time to learn how to do it? This is the other thing, the time to learn to do it when I'm already spending 30 hours a week coaching and sending emails and marketing, all of that sort of stuff as well. So I guess, it's both.
Oh, that's got to be outsourced, doesn't it? You got to get that off your plate. That is not your bag.
No. And even the social media side of things, like I quite like doing, you know, I do lots of piece to camera just on video, just talking and bits and pieces. But even that part of it, you know, I would like to outsource so someone can do all the graphics and bits and pieces. I mean, I'd obviously still do the bit when I'm talking or I've got something I want to get across.
Yeah.
But it's that bit as well is also a little bit draining for me.
100%.
I'm glad to hear that you're already on Kajabi, by the way, because that was the first platform we had in
I've
mind.
just got onto it.
Yeah, in terms of delivering video modules, it's a really, really good platform. So
Good. Yes, I am on there, but I haven't got any online modules.
I have 2 more questions, and then Caroline, I'll hand over to you. I've probably got lots more, but I'll just wrap it up for today. Is at the moment the challenge, or what a solution would be helpful for around having more clients, or coming up with a way to serve more clients with not you being at burnout level?
Yes, that's a good question. Probably the second. Yeah, because I got burnt out at the end of last year. It was too much.
So it's got to be scale.
Yeah. So either I have less clients and I charge more, or I change the way. And the other thing that I do, which a lot of coaches say you shouldn't do, but I do it because clients see it as a very valuable part of my service, is I send a detailed follow-up email after every session with key takeaways and key actions and the key commitments. And that takes quite a lot of, means I'm taking notes obviously during all my sessions, but then I'm spending time after sessions doing that. And I have had a number of other mentors say to me, get rid of it, don't do it. But I feel like it's important.
That's what matters. I mean, if you know that that's like for your that's the right thing for your service. You said you were deciding on intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I asked.
I was just going to say, ChatGPT is going to be your best friend because it can translate a whole lot of stuff. So you can still deliver that service. ChatGPT is going to be integrated into the Microsoft suite of products. And you'll actually, if you record your sessions, you can get a transcript that AI delivers to you, and then you can just take out the key bits of it and send it. It'll cut your time down enormously.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so I think, you lean into some of these, even though you're not tech savvy, think of these tools as not technology that's overwhelming. Think of them as how can they help you, and it'll help you kind of switch your brain and your thinking to lean into it, because some of the technology with AI at the moment is just going to speed up the delivery of what you're doing and still give you the personalized service that you want to deliver. And I think that's a core part of who you are and what you do. So continue to do it, but just look at some shortcuts. And I think that's a cracker for you.
Yeah, great, Nikki. That's a great point. Thank you.
Awesome. 2 really quick ones. I was thinking about counsellors and people of that profession, whether they referral partners who don't specifically focus on your area could be an opportunity rather than a threat. And the other, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was actually going to say, interestingly, I've started getting some referrals from GPs, which is
awesome.
Amazing. I don't even know how some of them have learned about me, because I haven't done any direct marketing to GPs. But
nice.
Yeah, there definitely is an opportunity, I think, through those other sorts of professionals, definitely.
Amazing. And then the other one was in the sporting space, like binge drinking is a major problem, and there's a requirement from the AFL that every year at every club, someone needs to come out and educate the teams about it. However, that's a 1 session at the beginning of the season that's a tick box education session, but there's no follow-up. There's nothing throughout the season unless the club proactively seeks that someone to come and provide that education, and it's massively neneeded.
Yeah, well, I've thought a lot about the AFL because I actually used to do a lot of my drinking when I went to the football.
Yeah.
Funnily enough,
the environment.
I go there and I don't drink at all, and I see so much drinking going on at the spectator level. But then you also look at players in high performance areas, and there is this binge drinking. You know, they don't drink during the season, but then they go off the rails.
Yeah, and like all through grassroots sporting, even semi-professional, if I can make any suggestion, if you're trying to go through the AFL, you'll be trying for years and it'll be really tough, but if you go direct to clubs, this would be like music to their ears.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
All right, I'll wrap it up there. I'll hand over to you, Caroline. Thanks again, Kathryn.
Hey, Kathryn. I actually don't have much left to ask you because you've kind of covered all the questions that I was going to ask. But I wanted to say I love your idea. I love the fact that you've narrowed down on your niche. I think that's really important in terms of binge drinking. From what I can understand from what you're saying, you're looking to scale, but you're still going to be the sort of sole provider of, you know, the business. And so therefore what we need to help you do is to get across that barrier in terms of tech, to understand how you can scale and automate your services so that you're taking the pressure off yourself, but you're actually still in control and you're able to I guess navigate your business without burning out. And so I think there's a lot I guess of information that we would have and be able to share with you to help you to do that. And automation, I think, is going to be key to what you do, so that if you don't find that partner or you don't find that other person or you don't have, you know, whatever partnership you're looking for, it's literally just going to be like clicking a button and it's there. And even with the emails that you send back, you know, like after each session from all the notes and whatever, that you have some kind of template that is already there for you to just, you know, edit and amplify, but really just looking to simplify what you already do and what you already know. Like you've got it all there, you know what you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to approach. And I really love the idea of what you're doing, and the fact that you've got the niche, and, you know, like we were just saying, you know, just talking about liaising with other medical professionals and EAP services and, you know, using that as an opportunity instead of a threat. You know, maybe partnering with them, considering maybe doing group sessions, not always just one-on-ones. And then, as you said, just developing that kind of online e-learning, I suppose, sessions, that kind of thing. Yeah. And in terms of just communicating that, I mean, obviously you're very good at, you've got your communications background and marketing background. But I think that's going to be one of the easiest ways for you to scale, is by leveraging and utilizing, you know, social and other avenues like that don't cost very much money, but can be quite effective in targeting your specific audience that you're looking at.
Yeah, great. I mean, I also think LinkedIn, I haven't used that overly. I mean, I do post every now and again, but I think there's probably, you know, a greater opportunity even there for me to use LinkedIn too.
Yeah. So sorry, not so many questions then, because they kind of already got asked, but I really, yeah, love what you're doing and loved your presentation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Well, look, thanks, Kathryn. Brilliant presentation. You can see that all of our Chief Medichicks leaders are excited about what you're doing and feel like you've really got an opportunity to scale, and we're delighted to you know, be able to support you on that journey. So from here, we will work out who we think, based on your presentation and our discussion and sharing this session with the other leaders that weren't able to make today, and we'll allocate you 4 mentors. So what you'll get is 30 minutes with each of the 4 per month. So basically what I would suggest is going 1 a week for 6 months, basically. So you'll get 6 sessions with each of the 4, so 24 sessions basically, to help you scale over the next 6 months. And we're going to follow your journey and share a bit of your journey with the community along the way. We will also schedule a time to do a podcast with you at about the halfway mark, so you can sort of share a bit of your journey and how things are formulating and how things are progressing. at the end of the 6 months, you'll present back. So in a format like this in front of the community. And we will have a VC partner on board as well who may choose to support you financially and invest in the business should you choose to go down that path. So lots of opportunity for you, and we're super excited to be able to support you on your journey.
Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. This is just, I'm just beyond grateful and very, honoured to have, been here to present and just to, I know, just to be in the company of, women that are just doing incredible things and want to, support other women as well in business. I mean, I think when I had this career change, at the age of 49 or 50, there was a little bit of trepidation thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I think that's the other thing I'm really passionate about communicating is that you can change your career at any point in time and still achieve a lot. Like, I feel like I'm actually just beginning. I'm just about to really launch off into the world and create abundance. And I don't necessarily mean financially, but just the abundance in me to do what I'm here to be doing. And so I also think there's this story to encourage women, no matter what age you are, that you've always got this opportunity too. So thank you.
Pleasure. That's why I'm doing this too.
Amazing.
Same thing. I think it's an I've turned 50 crisis and we all reevaluate. But that's great. All right. Well, look, Kathryn, I'll be in touch with you directly, and then I'll provide you with the details to connect in with your leaders and put an email loop together so that you can schedule your time directly with each of the leaders that will be working with you to help grow and scale your business. But congratulations.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time and look forward to working with you all.